What is going on, guys? Here's the Mathodman with another math video for you. This one's on point slope form. I try to think of every single possibilities that this problem might show up, and I can only think of 4. So here are 4 different examples. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know which way it is. Just look at the screen. And I'm gonna save you the trouble. Just hit the description button right below. You can fast forward to whatever one you need. Just look at the example problems, maybe pause the video. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can help you with your other math homework. Let's go. Let's not make this complicating, guys. This is super easy. And here is the point slope format. As long as you got a point and a slope just like this, you can write the equation of a line in point slope form, and it's super easy. Here's how you do it without mistakes. A lot of people get this mixed up too. This y1 and x1 is what represents this point right here. That is the only thing that's going to change along with your slope in the main formula. So when I start this off, I'm just going to write y minus a blank equals blank, parentheses x minus blank. Now that I have it all set up, all I gotta do is worry about what numbers to put in those missing slots. Let's label the information that we have though. This is not just x and y, it's kind of like the slope formula. Let's just label it x1, y1. That way we don't replace the wrong thing. And that 1 just means that that's the single point on that line. M is your slope. Might as well label it. Now that you got everything labeled, all you got to do is plug it in and just follow the format. So the first part I'm going to plug in is y1, and that is going to be -2. Here's exactly why I wrote everything in black font to begin with. A lot of people forget when I've taught this in the past. A lot of people are going to forget that extra negative. The first negative comes from the formula, and the second negative comes from the coordinate. So sometimes they're going to have a double negative like that, and that is why I start off with what I wrote in black. The next part I'm going to write is my slope. So that's going to get me 3, and the last part that I got to plug in is my x1 number. There's a double negative once again, so that's -6. From there, all you got to do is clean it up, simplify. Y minus -2 is the same as y plus 2, and I want you to observe, it's always going to be the opposite of what that number is. That's going to make sense later, why I mentioned that. 3, x minus -6 is the same as +6. And that is it, guys. Believe it or not, that is it. If you want to try the question on the right, I'm going to go over it if you don't pause this video. So pause it now if you want to try it. This is going to be my x1 again, y1, m is my slope. So when I start off the point slope form, I want to write and set it up where I leave everything that I highlighted in here blank and plug it in right afterwards. So the first part, I'm going to plug in a y1 once again, that's a 2. Then I plug in my slope, -3/4. And then I plug in my x1 number, which is -8. Only thing I got to simplify right here, folks, is this part right here. X minus -8 is the same as x plus 8. And then keep everything else the same. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you write something in point slope form. If you ever see this format and you recognize that it looks like the point slope format, it's going to reveal 2 things. The easiest one to identify is how it reveals your slope. The slope is always going to be that number next to the parentheses with the x on it. So right off the bat, I know my slope is 3. And this is probably why they use this format. It reveals a point and a slope right away. The tricky part is, since this says -y and -x1, it's going to be the opposite of whatever these numbers are. Because negative means the opposite, it's going to be the opposite of whatever those numbers are. So the point that I can extract out of that information, if that is my x1 and y1, is going to be, let's start with this one, opposite of that is +1. So that's the coordinate right there. The opposite of this is negative 6. And now that I have those two information, I can graph this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6, positive 1 is right here. And then just follow your slope. If that is not a fraction, you can always put it over 1. That way you get your rise over run number. So that's up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Should have made a better graph, but you get the point. There is my graph. So you can graph that right away when it's in that format. Pause the video if you want to try the other one out. So when it's in this format, it's going to reveal two things right away. Your slope, and your slope is just whatever this number is. So negative 5 halves is my slope. So my coordinates are going to be whatever the opposite of this is. So negative 4 is my y1 number. My x1 number is going to be the opposite of that, which is 3. And now that you have your point and your slope, just graph it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my point. And then follow the slope. Down 5 over 2 is not going to fit, so you can just do the reverse pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. You can do the reverse. That is technically still going down by 5 over 2. So if it doesn't fit in your graph like what I just got, do the reverse pattern. There's my line. And now you know how to graph in point slope form. All right, let's say you're given a graph and you're trying to write an equation, right? So first, you're gonna need a slope, and you can find the slope right away just by counting 1, 2, 3, your rise number over 1. So my slope is 3. You don't have to put over 1 if it's a whole number. And now I need a point. Now I need a point. You can name any of these points. There's actually 2 answers to this. Doesn't matter which one you want to pick. I'll just pick the first one that I chose. That coordinate is 2, negative 2. And that's my x1, y1 number. Now we got to just plug it in into the format. And you wrote yourself a point slope form linear equation. So I'm replacing y1, m, and x1 once again, like the first example. My y1 is negative 2. My slope is 3. And my x1 number is 2. The only thing I got to clean up is that. So that's going to get me y plus 2 equals 3, x minus 2. That is super easy, guys. If you want to try the one on the right, seriously, just pause the video and try the problem. Stop being lazy. The slope you can just count. So count the slope from this point to this point. Do your rise over run. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 over 6, which simplifies to 1/2. That is my slope. The point, and I mentioned, there could be 2 answers. Just pick the easiest one. That one's the easiest one to label. That is 1, negative 1. That is my x1 and y1 number. And now all we got to do is plug it into the formula. Negative negative 1 is y plus 1. And the rest you just keep the same. All right, for this last example, let's say you got 2 points and you are trying to write that in point slope form. Just like the graph in the previous slide, it doesn't matter which point you pick. I tend to pick the smaller numbers, so it doesn't matter. And that's going to represent your x1, y1. For these problems, there are 2 solutions. We'll just do one solution because you can pick the other one if you wanted, and that's going to change your answer. But as far as the slope, I meant to put slope. Use the slope formula. You can label this as x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug it into that formula. And once you have a point and a slope, all you got to do is use this format, and you got that problem over with. So that's going to be 1, 7, and the bottom numbers are going to be 5 and 4. That simplifies to negative 6 over 1, which is the same thing as negative 6. Now I got everything I need for my formula. All I got to do is plug it in. Y minus, and again, I like to leave those blank, pull them out later. That way I never mess this up. So my y1 is 7. My m is negative 6. my x1 is 4, and you can't really simplify that. For the first time in forever. I don't have to do any more work. Leave it alone. That is it. You're done. If you want to try the problem on the right, pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to keep explaining it. Pause it right now. That's the last one, I promise. I promise, last one. So here's how you do that problem. x1, y1, you can label it to begin with, x2, y2. And we repeat the same thing. Find a point, choose a point. If you want to choose -3, 2, you can. I don't know, it's up to you. So let's choose that, -3, 2. And my slope, not slop, slope, 2 minus -2 is a +4. -3 divided by -9 is -12. That simplifies to 1 over -3, -1/3. So now I got everything I need. Let's put back the format, and the last part is just to plug those numbers in. So my y number is 2, my slope is -1/3. And am I gonna get lucky here? No, I'm not gonna get lucky. I gotta do one more step. -3, and now we just gotta simplify this part. X minus -3 is a +3. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is every single way that I can think of with point slope form. Now you are a pro at this, and if you are, throw me a like if this was super easy. Thank you. I am flattered that I was able to help you. And don't forget to subscribe. If you need any more math help, let me know. But until then, I will see you on the next episode. Peace.